sometime, somehow, we will be punished. Punished?
Alright, since most people have had the chance to watch the movie, I might as well go in depth on the ending. Matrix Resurrections had one of the most potent endings I have seen in a movie in a very, very long time. That is not to say the physical message that was spoken, like through the analyst's mouth. By this I mean he basically said that the people don't give a shit, they don't want the new Matrix, they want the old Matrix, they want it to be fear-based and desire-based. They like the old Matrix, they don't want change, they're used to it already. What is important about this ending, though, is that those that leave the Matrix, we come back. It's not about leaving for good. If that were the case, they wouldn't be here anymore. The purpose of remaining within the Matrix is to mold it in your image. Everyone is constantly molding the Matrix in their image, but those who understand what they are doing have the ability to manifest, as some call it, or resonate, as I call it, their desired realities into existence. What this means is that those in the know will be molding this reality from this point forward. This is mainly the reason why I have stopped granting any power to conspiracy theories, because I know that in my youth I granted them way too much power, and that is why the world is the way it is now. That is why I'm doing my best to try and not give power to those thoughts anymore, to any conspiracies in general, because look what it does. It grants power and makes it come to fruition. I assumed that everything going on now was to influence the subjective minds of the masses. This is not the case. There are a select handful of us in this world that are able to potently mold this world in our image. Those of us that are able to do that are the true targets of the subliminal targeting. This is very bad because we assumed that everyone was responsible for this, but that is not the case. It is only a select group of us that are responsible for the mess happening in the world today. We are also responsible for fixing the mess that we have helped create. This isn't to say not to fight. This isn't to say to fight. You do whatever you feel called to. All I know is that I need to be more careful with my perception, and I choose to stop granting power to conspiracy theories anymore. And so far, things have been getting better and better. And it's only going to take more time, but eventually we'll get to the desired reality. But the importance of the end of the Matrix is that we aren't trying to force people out of this. We're trying to give them a better experience. Those that are within the Matrix shouldn't have to go through turmoil. They shouldn't have to go through despair. They shouldn't have to go through fear. They shouldn't have to go through, desiring things that they don't have. Everyone should be cared for. I know that won't help anything. That won't help the powers that be siphon emotional energy from the humans, but what if light and happiness are just as potent as fear and darkness? I don't know, but it's always worth a shot, We can figure this out for everyone. It doesn't have to be for a small group of people anymore. I want the whole world to be taken care of, and I'm assuming that's what they want in the Matrix as well. They just want to mold it in their image so that those that are within can be happier. And then the analyst was just like, no, they don't want happiness. They want what they have now because they're addicted to it. I have no clue. All I have is my interpretation. And like I said in another video or a short that I made, the whole point of that scene at the beginning of the movie where they had all the game developers talking about their interpretations on what the Matrix was. Like, some said, like, oh, it's a philosophical thing. Some were like, oh, no, it was about this, about that, you know? Everyone had their own interpretations, and I accept the fact that even what I say right now is just an interpretation. I hope that they come out with whatever it is they were trying to get out, you know? I hope they themselves speak out on it, but who knows if we, the humans, would even be willing to accept what they have to offer, you know? Like in that movie, Neo was right there for them all to ask for his perspective, and they all chose to ignore him and come up with their own interpretations. But the craziest part is that I rewatched it again with my wife's family. That scene wasn't in the HBO version. It was only in the theater version. And that really sucks. Because, like, how is that previous video I made going to make any sense if the HBO version is different from the theater version? Oh well, who cares? It was just a slight difference. It still had some of the impact. They were just imposing, like, oh, it needs to melt their brains to get the synapses firing, you know? Then they had the guy say it twice. It was weird. And then that moment where he said it twice, it was supposed to be a second scene or another scene where there were these girls in the group of game developers talking about their perspective of what the Matrix previously was. It just sucks that that scene was removed for the HBO version, but who cares? I hope you guys have a good one, and remember to stay safe out there.